I want to talk to you guys about Schneider National Incorporated and how I feel about them. I did work for them for quite a few years. Let's start out with, so I started with them back in 2013, and it was a great company then. I made a lot of good money with them solo and as team. And I left for a few years, bounced around to different companies that I won't mention. We're only talking about Schneider here. And then I come back to Schneider in 2018 because my wife wanted to see the country. She got her CDL, and we left in 2021. So here's the good, the bad, and there's not really any ugly to it, just bad. So if you're going to work for this company, solo, it doesn't pay shit. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't. It looks like it does, but it doesn't. Team and tanker is the way to go. They have a very small flatbed division, very small, but you know, they pretty much got out of that. Tanker, you're gonna make a lot of money with tanker, a lot. I highly recommend that if that's something you want to get into. Now, I can't stress this enough. If you work for this company, get your experience, get the fuck out. Get at least 1 or 2 years with them. Get out. If you got a wife, kids, husband, kids, whatever, don't go over the road, because your bags are going to be packed and put on the street. And you might say, well, that won't happen to me. Well, go and find out then. I don't know that of having that, because my wife was with me. Okay, she was my team partner from 2018 to 2021, whenever we decided that we didn't want to be on the road anymore. The good is that teams pay great money, but so does tanker. Now, with that being said, the other good is that there's operating centers everywhere. They have company cars at these operating centers where you can go get something to eat, go to Walmart, do your shopping. They have all these operating centers that have laundry in them. Most of these big operating centers, like in Dallas, West Memphis, Carlisle, PA. Well, Dallas is actually Wilmer now, which is right outside of Dallas, off 45 there. What's that other one? There's quite a few of them, guys. I'm not going to get into all of them. That have restaurants in them to which you can order food there when they're open and get food. West Memphis has really good catfish, really good. I'm going to miss that because I really like their catfish. They got decent shops to which they fix the equipment there. They have showers and all of this, and all of this is free besides the restaurants. The restaurants you have to pay for because they hire them, their outside agency. So the bad is that overspeed. They're going to bitch at you about overspeed and say, you know, Schneider's speed limit is 65. One guy told me they bumped it up 2 miles an hour. Wow, I can do 77 in my day cab. So, you know, do I do 77? No, hardly ever. Only unless I got to pass somebody real quick. Usually I'm doing 70 the speed limit. I don't want a ticket. They will write your ass a ticket. But 65, it's not really fast enough, in my opinion. They'll bitch at you about your fuel mileage. They'll give you a brand new truck and expect it to get 8 to 10 miles to the gallon in a semi. That ain't fucking happening. Even Freightliner says that those trucks have to have a 100,000 mile break-in period. And Freightliner's told Schneider this numerous of times, and the DTLs, driver training leaders, think they know it all, sitting behind a desk all day, bunch of pencil-pushing son of a bitches. They don't know shit. Half of them have never driven a truck a day in their life. They're cool when you're in there, but when you talk to them on the phone, they're not really cool. If you say you don't want to go to New York City, they're going to force you to go to New York City. Otherwise, they're going to threaten you with your job with a bus ticket and tell you to go home. That's the reason why I don't work for their ass anymore. So we're not going to have this video to be too long because I'm off work. I just work 12 and a half hours. I got to get up in the morning and work like 7 because, you know, I've got some things that I got to take care of. Usually I'm working 10 to 12 hours a day, so I'm making good money. Anyway, they're going to bitch at you about your fuel mileage, and if you don't, then they're going to threaten you with your job. The same goes for the overspeed, and if you get too many critical events, like if you yank the steering wheel a little bit too hard that they don't like, they'll call you in for training and all this, and if you don't want to do it, they'll fire you. They'll fire you on the spot. If you get a speeding ticket, you're gone. Bye-bye. They have cameras in the truck that's facing outward, which means it watches what's in front of you. But I had my DTL call me one day and say, you were holding the tablet while you were driving down the road. You're not supposed to do that. And I says, no, I was not. He said, well, I'm not going to argue with you. I'll bring you in and we'll sit down and talk about it. I said, well, do what you got to do then, Buckwheat, because I don't really care. I says, I got a CDL in my pocket. I'll go wherever. So that kind of nipped that in the bud. So they are watching you. I'm sorry, but I want to work for a company that's not going to babysit me. You know what I mean? So I work for a small company. But I don't really care if they don't like what I have to say, to be honest. I really don't give a flying flip of a coin if they don't like what I have to say about them, because they started this whole mess. So if I'm not eligible for rehire, I don't really give a shit, Schneider. I really don't care. You can suck my dick. I want people to be aware of your bullshit so that other drivers don't have to go through what I went through. 65 miles an hour is not the speed limit. 70 is on the interstate, unless you come into a city. You should be able to do at least 70. When my wife went through training with Schneider, they didn't teach her about her 14-hour clock. They didn't teach her about tandems. They didn't teach her nothing. Zilch, nothing. I had to do that. And there were 2 students, meaning her and some other broad, in a truck with a guy that was a dedicated driver for Family Dollar or Dollar General, one of the two. And he was a nice guy. He actually taught them as much as he could teach them. He wished, and he told me, he said, I wish I could have taught them more, but Schneider wouldn't let me. They wanted me to have them for so many times, and she would drive so many times, the other student would drive so many times, and we had to stop for a hotel room every single night. And so it's not worth getting your training at Schneider National unless it's bulk. Bulk training, they don't fuck around. They do not fuck around with bulk, because you're messing with harsh chemicals here. I'm talking about chemicals that will peel your fucking skin off of your bones and will melt your bones. We ain't talking about gas here. We're talking about some really nasty shit. But the only thing that I did like about my time there was the fact that they had operating centers just about anywhere, and if I needed to take a 30-minute break, or if I needed to get fuel, and they don't even have fuel in Indianapolis anymore, or in Atlanta. They're doing away with a lot of this. But if I needed to take a 10-hour break, if I needed to wash my clothes, if I wanted to go to Walmart to buy some personal items, I had a company car there, which is really nice for me to do whenever Walmart was 24 hours before the whole pandemic thing had occurred. The only thing I can tell you and stress to you is this once again: whether you're going for bulk, team, or if you're going to be stupid enough to be solo with this company that I'm talking about here, please get your experience, get the fuck out, go work local, make at least $20+ an hour, and be home every night. That's the whole thing that people want to do. They want to be home every night. And that's the reason why I took the job that I took, is because I'm more active. If you look at some of these truck drivers out here, they are gargantuan. They are huge. They are fat as fuckus. So with that being said, you need to be active when you're being a truck driver. Now I get it. I'm not a spring chicken by any means necessary. Meaning I'm not skinny as a beanpole. But I don't want to be the guy that's like 300+ pounds, you know, getting out of his truck, legs swollen the size of a tractor trailer tire. I need to be active, and I couldn't be active with that company. And my wife got tired of the DTL's bullshit, and it got to the point to which I had to change my phone number. I mean, this person was just an absolute bastard, in my opinion. And I don't care if they watch this. I don't care if everyone at that terminal, or operating center as they call them, it's still a terminal, you mooks, watches this and say, well, he's not eligible for rehire. I don't care what your attorneys say. I don't care what any of you have to say, because I have the freedom of speech. And if you don't like it, you can kiss my fucking ass. Plain and simple. They will threaten to sue you if you say anything about them online. I've already been told that. I could not post anything regarding the tractor trailer or anything online without the being threatened of being sued. They make you sign a piece of paper so that if you're still employed with them, that you do not mention anything about them on any type of social media platform that you have. Like, none whatsoever. And I'm going to try to tag them in this video if I'm able to which, if they know who I am, good. I'm glad. Good luck trying to get a hold of me, because I don't have the same number anymore. But the thing is that people need to be aware of your shady bullshit that you have out here, and the way you treat drivers. The way you just allow your driver training leaders to treat the drivers. The drivers is what make the company money. The drivers is why the company makes billions of dollars. And I mean billions with a B, okay? They're worth billions. Schneider is like the 3rd or 4th largest trucking company in the world. All right, they are a humongous fucking place. And I mean, people say you can go in there to Green Bay, which is kind of pathetic, because Green Bay doesn't have they don't have anything really. They don't have to which you can go in there and get food or anything like that. You can take a shower. They got some washers and dryers in there, but it's pathetic that you got West Memphis, you got Gary, Indiana, you got Indianapolis, you got Carlisle, you got all of this stuff here, these operating centers that have more amenities than your entire fucking main home office. That is so pathetic. And anyone that wants to work for them, if you have experience, don't go to orientation. Please don't. If you don't want to be away from home for weeks on end, don't go work for them. If you want to be home for Christmas, if you want to be home for Thanksgiving, New Year's, 4th of July, don't go work for them. Hell, even Halloween for that matter. They will threaten you with your job. It all started whenever they gave each and every one of the drivers a pay raise, because they're trying to keep the drivers. By the way, their pet policy only goes to teams. You can only be a team and have a pet policy. Now here's where it gets tricky. You have a $300 cleaning fee. However, you as the driver have to clean the fucking truck. Oh, but there's hair everywhere, man. There's hair everywhere. What the fuck did me and my wife pay a $300 cleaning fee for if you stupid motherfuckers don't hire somebody to clean the goddamn truck? Why even allow us to have our dog in the truck to begin with? And why not solos? Why only teams? And when I asked the DTLs this, they're like, driver retention. You're going to make all the solos go home. Well, that's only because a team partner can be in the bunk with the animal and tend to the animal's needs. What the fuck? Companies like Warner, companies like KLLM, they allow pets as far as I know. I've seen them in there. I think Crete does, and they're solo drivers. Get the fuck out of here, Schneider. It's not my fault that you decided to go work for them and can't figure out their narcissistic asshole ways. But their drivers, they've been working there for 30 years. Yeah, that's 29 years too long, because they don't know any better. They ain't got any common sense. Oh, and if you don't drive enough hours, they're going to threaten you with your job. I've had that happen. Well, you're not driving enough. Don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. I'm probably going to get in trouble for this, but don't be lazy. First of all, I was burnt out, okay? I wasn't fucking being lazy. I was tired. I wanted to be home. And when I told you this, you're like, no, man, there ain't nothing wrong with you. And then the whole sleep apnea thing. I was told by a DOT doctor when I got my DOT physical done to ask me to go through another another sleep apnea test. And I passed. I don't have sleep apnea. Your machine is sitting at my house. I've been waiting for you fuckers to ask for it back. I even called the sleep people, and they're like, you can send it back, but you would still owe Schneider over $1,000 for it. Fuck you, I'm not doing that. You want it back, you're going to have to pay the rest. You're going to have to make it a lost cause then, because I am not paying for it. I'm not going to use it. There was a guy that was literally there at the freaking clinic doing a sleep test that was 110 pounds, about 5'3". This dude didn't smoke, he didn't do nothing. He was there to get another test done because Schneider's doctors told him that he had sleep apnea. He took the test, he passed the test, he come up negative with sleep apnea. He took the results to them, they denied it. He fucking quit the same day and went to work for another company. They get kickbacks from the federal government, guys. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you'll be understanding that sleep apnea, it doesn't affect everyone. And Schneider's too stupid to see that because they get these mega dollars from the federal government, from the FMCSA. There's no way to track who does and who doesn't have sleep apnea. And I was told by a former friend that who worked there at that company that, oh man, you shouldn't make videos about the company because they got lawyers and all that. But when I look about Schneider National reviews on their Google page, on Reddit, on Yelp and all of these other places, and I see YouTube as well, people are making videos about them saying not so nice things about the company. I'm just saying, I made this into almost a 20-minute long video. I should be at home right now, which I'm going home right now because my pickup truck is sitting right here. But at the end of the day, if you decide to go over there and you see what I'm talking about, don't blame me whenever Schneider decides that they want to fuck with you. You'll be good at first, but then after a while, they're going to start hammering down on you because they're not making no money. They're not making shit. But why aren't they making shit? I'll tell you why they're not making shit. It's perfectly a logical explanation why they're not making shit. Number one, they sent the driver pay way too fucking high just to keep drivers, just to retain drivers. That's the reason why. Is that they want to retain drivers, but they can't. They lost a good team, me and my wife, because of their stupid bullshit. You don't threaten me with my job. I will quit and go work somewhere else. You hear me? And you need to put down those damn chili cheeseburgers. They know who I'm talking about. They know exactly who I'm talking about. They didn't like what I had to say. I don't care if they don't like what I have to say on social media. I could care fucking less. I don't give two shits. Trust me on this. They could knock on my door and tell me to take this video down, and I would tell them to kiss my motherfucking white ass. Kiss my white ass with the hair and all on that motherfucker. Because people need to know about your bullshit. I'm sick and tired of seeing drivers out here getting fucked over by these goddamn companies. And I wish Schneider National would be another fucking Celadon and close its doors for good. I've said my piece. Y'all have a great day. Happy New Year. I forgot to mention that they do have a phone policy, which their phone policy entails that you can't be talking on the phone while you're driving. But their dumbasses at Schneider will call you while you're driving. They know you're driving. They can see you driving on your logs. They're just trying to get you in trouble. And everybody wears their headsets and that drives there. I don't understand why they haven't figured this shit out. Oh, and don't talk to your DTL while you're driving your personal vehicle, because then they will tell you, I'm sorry, I can't talk to you. You're driving your personal vehicle. Bitch, I pay the note, or I own this motherfucker. You don't. So fuck off. It's just little silly shit like that that made me leave them. And the fact that the other stuff that I mentioned before, I'm sorry that I had to make such a long ass video, but this had to be said. It was so much that I had to incorporate in one video. I wasn't going to do a take two, I wasn't going to do a part two or any of that. So if you value your sanity, go work somewhere else. If you want to get your experience with them, get your experience with them, but get the fuck out of there and go work local. Especially if you're going to do fuel and tankers division and shit like that. You're hauling fuel with a tanker and all that shit. That's a good job for you, man. I can't stress that enough with Schneider. But get about a year to 2 years of experience. Even in dry van, they don't do reefer, refrigerated freight. You know, get your experience and get out. I can't stress that enough. Y'all have a good day. Happy New Year.